Game face on, we locked in deep. Welcome to the grind, team no sleep. James talk stats, Montel bring heat. Heather on the mic, whole crew on beat.
But we got theme songs that have been updated. We got new, oh my God. It's almost like we've been doing this for a little bit and know what's going on. Ladies and gentlemen, Team No Sleep. Look at, don't worry about me. Don't worry, but look at them two over there to my left, your right. What it do, y'all ready? What's today? Mid-March?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
We're ready.
We was already talking March Madness. I'm not sure why HC was talking about brackets, because there's no way in the world that I could even think about keeping a bracket that's going to be anything that's not busted.
Yeah.
Man, can't do it.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll do a bracket, but I'm not quite sure how the good is gonna come out.
We'll do a gentleman's bet on it, So Heather, what we'll
Absolutely,
do,
man.
we'll like bet like a case of Coke or something, Coca-Cola, Pepsi. Let me let me get the wording right.
Yeah,
here.
I got it.
We'll bet a beverage on it. That's what we'll do.
We'll bet a Long Island or something, or old fashioned, something like that. Old fashioned. And my dad is in the building. There he is, right there. We official, ladies and gentlemen. So here we go.
Ooh.
Mr. Stark is there. He's working probably on the job. Appreciate you for being here. Look at it, Jensen, beautiful young lady. He must be on break or something and having a beverage too. Okay. Love it though. So let's go ahead and get into it, man. We got a handful of topics to go in. Y'all know how we do. If you got questions or you want to comment, do that. We'll bring it up. We don't shy away from any conversation because this is the social impact of sports. So we talk about all kind of things that are relevant. Why, unfortunately, though, do we got to start with all schools of all places? So, okay, the story is cool because the story is a good story. But y'all know me, and me and the Oregon Ducks don't. I just every time every time I see a Duck story, I got a problem with it. But this right here, let's give a shout out though to Dante Moore. Dante Moore, quarterback over at Oregon, up in Eugene, and has made a plea to the governor, not just to the AD, not just to the dean, not just to people within the school system, that I being Dante Moore are going through some things from a mental health perspective. So I need you, governor of the state, to start looking more into how are we helping our athletes? How are we helping our youngsters? How are we helping folks that are in my age bracket, or really everyone in general? Since I've got a platform, since I've got kind of a name here in this state, we need to do a little bit more to have some mental health services within the state. I think that's a dope story, and I think that's really cool for someone, again, in his position to go to the Capitol and talk to the governor and say we need to do these kind of things. Your guys' thoughts on this? Because Monta, man, we talk about mental health with athletes and kids all the time, and this is who we want talking about. This is who we want bringing that raising that flag, or actually starting that conversation. We can do it too, but it's really good for someone, like I say, with a platform to actually go out there with the larger platform to actually make that statement as well. Your guys' thoughts?
Yeah, I'll go first, and Heather, I'll let you chime in real quick. I think my take on it is great to be awareness, but I think we're starting to become beyond awareness. Start putting some dollars behind what they say. Dante Moore, great player, great athlete, has a big NIL. Put your money where your mouth is. If you want to be awareness about mental health and you want the governor to step up and do it, you need to do it as well with some of your NIL money. Why don't you donate a big portion of that to put awareness out? You have enough money now, I think, with your NIL or other NILs within that department to be able to put together a campaign to bring awareness. And let's not only just push it to the state of Oregon, push it to NCAA. Like, if this is something you really want to be passionate about and do, put what you have forth, and do those things.
So let me ask, when you with that statement, and with Heather, before you go on, do you think this is kind of that jumping off for against someone at a well-known, well-respected, winning program that goes out there and actually makes this statement, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Governor, state legislator, that kind of thing, I'm coming to y'all to raise awareness Do you think someone like a Texas? Do you think someone like California? Someone like Michigan? Do you think other locations as well will see this and be like, we want this is something that we want to be involved in as well. We want to champion this as well in our programs.
Well, I would hope so. I would really hope so. But how many times have we seen mayors stand up on podiums and talk about how we're going to address mental health and homelessness and give help and all these other funds that are there to provide help for mental health, and then we don't see anything. There's no action taken. So when someone like this does it, kudos. I'm absolutely applauding the man stepping up, approaching the governor. But you got to be the first person to take that course of action if you're going to say something.
Ooh.
If you want to do something, say something, you got to be the first, especially when you're in a position to do it. Every day people don't have the finances to do it and do those things. They don't have that platform. Him as a quarterback at Oregon, I'm sure he's getting a pretty hefty NIL deal in the hundreds of thousands at minimum, right? Well, once you put your $25,000 up right up the front and say, I want to see this put forth to put together a campaign. Because I think when you do that and you show you're putting your own money and you're in action, I think you're going to get a whole bunch of traction now of people saying, you know what, we want to get behind him and do it. But now when you just say it, it's starting to become a cliche, right? Everyone's talking mental health. When there's a shooting, there's mental health.
Is that what
when
it
there's an issue, there's a mental health. Yeah. When there's this, there's mental health. And I'm not saying people are not going through it. That's not my clause at all. But I'm saying if you're going to do that, you need to put up and step up. Do 10,000. Doesn't have to be a lot of money. It doesn't have to be all your money, but I think it should be a chunk of change to step forward and say, hey, I'm actually putting where my money, where my mouth is, and I want some action done. And here's the first contribution that I want to place, and let's rock and roll. I think when you do things like that, I think things will start to get traction on his behalf of his cause.
Do it. Heather, before you chime in, I want to just show this right here because I'm quick on the research. So Dante has a valuation of roughly $3 million for NIL. So shout out to Eugene, Oregon. Boy, there is not much. Listen, you can buy a whole lot in Eugene, Oregon for $3 million. Okay.
Well, but I mean, go back to his cause though. So if you're getting $3 million in NIL, some of it's not the school, it's actually sponsors. Why don't you get your sponsors to step up?
Yeah.
Why the people that are giving you $3 million say, okay, don't give me $3 million, give me $2.8 million, and I want 200,000 spread out through all these causes. Yeah, like I said, if you're gonna talk it, put action forth for it. Like, don't just go to the governor because he's gonna have a platform to governor because he's the starting quarterback for Oregon. Yeah, he'll have a platform at some point to talk to him, either at a banquet or a function or something like that, and that's great. He's bringing awareness of it. Have no doubt about that. But you want to really be about what you talk about. Put a little change towards it. Get your sponsors to put a little bit of change towards it. Get Oregon to put something on your jerseys to do that. Have them sell something at the games. Like, you can have a lot. If you really want to make an impact, draw the cause and put forth for it to come to bring a lot of awareness. And that's my opinion only. I mean, but I'm glad he's shedding some light.
HC, you got the phone number to the head coach?
I wish I would tell him some plays I want to see.
Your thoughts on this, because I brought this, or one of us brought this story up. It was either you or me, but then I wanted to pick at you just because you're a Duck fan, as opposed to, I'm gonna get you switched over to the Beavers before too long. But your thoughts on everything that we've talked about so far?
Never. I hear what Montel is saying. I when you're going to say something, action is always a good follow-up. So I first want to commend him on his leadership on and off the field, because it's brave to admit vulnerability and that you're in depression, and to open up about being 18 years old and being in the spotlight and dealing with your mom having cancer. And that's a lot to open up to the world about, and to say that you were struggling, even as this elite athlete that many young students look up to, that he's struggling and he's just like me and you, So at me as a former athlete, I love seeing that stuff. So I commend him for that. I like that he wrote to the governor specifically addressing, I read some of the notes from the letter that was public, that he mentioned Montana had a telehealth organization called Charlie. Yeah, Charlie Health, something like that. And Montana, the organization offered to work in Oregon, and the governor said, or the governor's policies or the Oregon state policies were no, that you couldn't work there. And I think they were just trying to figure out why. It's probably complicated. Maybe it has to do with credentials. I don't know. It's beyond my purview. But I think he was trying to say something like this, a resource of a community hotline to pick up a phone and like, I'm depressed, I'm not feeling well. And he made the case that, 2% of young adults, the suicide is like 2% is the number 2 leading cause of death in Oregon, suicide. And so so he was making that case to the governor, like, here are the stats, it's really high, that the suicide rate is high, adolescent depression is high, and there's nowhere to go with it. And if organizations next door in Montana are trying to help us out, let's maybe lift some regulations or subsidies or whatever that preventative measure is. So I think he was addressing some stuff, but again, yeah, throwing some money in or having some other ideas of action are good. He's starting somewhere, so I'll give him props for that.
That's a huge thing right there. And shouts out to everyone. I love what Chris is saying. I'm just gonna put it up there. He says, "Get rid of them jerseys." I'm with you. See, Chris Stone, that's my guy right there. So you know what? I'm gonna send something in your Venmo in about an hour, brother. I appreciate you for that. Gretchen is saying her daughter lives in Eugene, ran track at Oregon, graduated, and now owns a company that provides live-in 24-hour care for young adults, males with mental health needs. Gretchen is the truth.
Awesome.
And her family is that's the kind of thing right there that we need.
So I would like Gretchen's opinion on that. Then, like, okay, yeah, he wrote the letter, right? He said there's something similar in Montana. Obviously, it maybe can't be state funded. Which most of the stuff comes down to money. It has nothing to do with any of that stuff. The regulations, all that stuff, because this is all for a good cause. It comes down to money. If the quarterback Moore starts to throw some money behind it and get some of the sponsors to throw some money behind it, is it something possibly that could probably happen? Because a hotline, I think it would be obviously helpful, but also him being the face of this kind of mental health surge or preventative mental health or just a support mechanism. If he could put his face forward with money, with who his sponsors are as an NIL, I think the buy-in would jump in quick. Right? It's because it's a great cause. It's something that's for everybody. But I don't think it should be limited to athletes. I think it should be limited to high school athletes, young teens, everybody. Because athletes are, even though they do go through a lot of mental health issues, and depression and stuff, so does everybody else, especially now in these trying times right now with the economy and everything. So, big task to do.
Yeah.
But if you got enough money, no task cannot be done. We know that. Ask Jeff Bezos. He can get anything done he wants and what needs to be done. So I do, man. I agree with you, Heather. I applaud him for really showing his vulnerability and putting it out there. But nowadays we got to have more, and resources is a thing that everyone lacks to get it kicked off. I hope he utilizes his platform to kind of get some coin in the pot.
Yeah.
To make sure.
Let me put up because Gretchen was answering. And Gretchen, listen, she family, so you know the keys to the front door. You can come log on back on stage if you want to, sis. She has 5 homes each, 3 clients, and she ever has a spot become available. It's between 75 to 150 applicants for that one spot. That's
wow, crazy.
That's the word. Okay, that's crazy, right? I mean, it's refreshing that that's there.
Wait, no pun intended though. No pun intended. I didn't mean it that way.
Well, yeah, that's why I didn't
mean it that way. I mean,
God, Lord, you're gonna get us kicked off the air. Lord have mercy.
I didn't mean to say it that way. I mean, that's wild.
Y'all pray for Montel. He over there. I was gonna say, you just sit down for me. It's like Ocho and Shay. It's unfortunate there's that many people that are looking for these resources, but it's fortunate that there's a place for them to go. Hopefully what's jumping off was, did I clean it up for you, brother? Did I?
Yeah. I mean, I didn't mean to use that term. That's my only thing.
Yeah.
I just can't believe that number's that big. I really can't believe that number's that big. And see, you just said it.
No, we gonna move on. See, I'm listening to you. I see my man Oliver over here talking about we over here. Yes, brother, we on X and everything. I'll never call it X though. I'm a Twitter guy. So yes, we streaming on Twitter too. Ask your questions, man. It's all good. We appreciate you for being here. I see you coming in with all the questions, but don't spam us though, brother. I'm gonna put my moderators on you. It's all good though. What were you gonna say?
I'm just saying, that's a big number.
Yeah,
that's a big number for people that are crying out for help, or crying out for help, needing needing the assistance to get themselves right. And I don't know why. It'd be a bigger question. Why would the governor say no? That part, like, you can use other words besides no. Like, let's look into it, let's investigate it, let's see if we can do something, but not saying no. And I don't, and even
Oh,
the whatever the legislation. Go ahead, Heather. I'm sorry.
yeah, no, I just wanted to clarify. I didn't mean that the governor specifically said no to what he was requesting. It was just that whatever the policies of Oregon are, could be boards for all I know, is that they were saying this telehealth, Charlie Health organization could not operate in Oregon. And so I think QB was just making awareness out of it. But I don't know that the governor specifically even knew about it yet.
Then let's point the finger at the state of Oregon and their legislation. Whoever says no, they need to correct that. That maybe you can't help Charlie, but you could have said, you know what, let's do Charles and create a parent company that can do the same thing you know what I mean? No is not the
Yeah,
answer to something like this. So I would hope someone would investigate and revisit it. And again, throw some money behind it. I think if you throw money behind it, the machine will start moving. When there's no money behind it, everything tends to fizzle out and die. But if there's someone that can manage to put some money behind it, even just a small amount, and if he does it personally, I think it'll kickstart something very, very special, and he'll see his ideas will come to light.
Let me piggyback this into the next topic, because I think there's some synergies actually between this first one, another topic, and then one as well. And y'all keep chiming in with the comments and everything, and we will definitely address them. Last week, Montel, we were going to talk, or 2 weeks ago, we were going to talk about the NIL being tax exempt. And so the Mississippi Senate just killed that fact of having NIL tax exempt. Is that a hindrance to, and I'm just thinking out loud, talking off the top of the dome, y'all correct me if I'm wrong, I don't know all the answers. Is that a hindrance maybe to having some of that $3 million from Dante's NIL valuation going? Would that stop him? Right? I know this is in Mississippi and he's in Oregon, but does that deter an athlete from saying, I don't get a tax incentive now for helping people? I just want to spur the conversation. I just don't know really.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If I had an incentive from the tax code, I would do more. But now that I don't, I obviously want to take care of myself, make sure my family has the house and has all that stuff. I just want to spur a conversation here.
Well, I think Mississippi, Ole Miss, Mississippi State, and
But the
Southern
way you saying it, I already know how you
Southern Mississippi was trying. No, they were trying to use that tax exempt to lure recruits in the SEC. Let's just keep it real. They wanted to be able to, hey, don't go to Alabama because they're going to tax you. Come over here, 2 states over, and we'll be able to pay your money. You'll get to keep more of your money. It was a ploy to do that. I'm glad it didn't work. It shouldn't work because it's not fair to a lot of the schools. That was just a luring tool for recruiting for basically for those 2 big schools. It wasn't even for nobody else. Now, for people that don't understand the NIL and how it works, especially when it comes to taxes, for every game you play in out of state, you get taxed in that state for that game.
Yes.
So there's taxes. So if you play 10 games out of state, you're going to get taxed. You're going to get a W-2 from 10 different states because they're going to tax you for it. You owe them.
You're now an employee. We knew about this from an NFL perspective, right? Every time time your Niners would go to somewhere else, Christian getting that check, or he, it's coming out of his check. So so I made it plain for you right there, right? I made it hit home for Heather right there.
Yeah. So I thought Mississippi was trying to make it say, hey, the NIL money doesn't count. You shouldn't have to. We don't. You come here, you get to keep more of your money. That's basically what it was saying. And I'm glad it didn't go through because only the big boys would benefit from it, right? Okay. Ole Miss, Mississippi State. Nobody else would benefit from it.
Well,
maybe
I think
Southern Miss.
maybe Arkansas.
No, they're not Mississippi. It'll just been for the state of Mississippi only. So
I thought Arkansas was on the tax. No.
Are they
on the tax what?
Hold on.
On the tax
not
exempt.
on this one. They might. I don't. Are they state tax exempt for NIL, or are they just?
Yeah, I thought so.
Because I don't think so. Maybe we can look it up. But I mean, I know. So like Texas doesn't have a state tax, right? Texas doesn't have a state tax. That's why people move there. But if Texas goes out and plays in California, they're going to get taxed California dollars. I believe if they go any other state, they're going to get taxed that state dollars. So,
Oh yeah. Oh, so like the
yeah,
Jock tax, like California is like
yeah,
the
yes,
worst. So
exactly,
like
yes,
what we learned from Seattle Seahawks, like Sam Darnold is like owes money after playing in because he was in California for like 8 days. So you're charged
yeah,
every day that even if you're sleeping, even if you're training, you're charged that duty tax, that Jock
yep,
tax. And so if
hmm
he got a bonus of 173 or 176,000 dollars, whatever it was, but then he owes like $240,000, almost $250,000. So that bonus that he won from the Super Bowl is out just because the Jock tax of California.
yep.
So there's a good
Yeah,
case to be made that California is not a great spot to. Sorry, SoFi next year.
yeah, and that will be the last time they host it in California until something gets fixed. I
Yes.
guarantee it.
Yes.
They're not going to play the Super Bowl here no more,
Yeah.
just due to that
Yeah.
fact. Go ahead, James.
So let me answer that question because it's actually confusing with Arkansas. So in Arkansas, NIL income paid directly by universities, including revenue sharing, is exempt from state income tax. However, NIL income from third-party deals, such as endorsements with private businesses or individuals,
hmm
is not
It's
exempt
not. Yes,
and
it's
remains
not exempt.
subject to Arkansas state income. So it's even
Yes.
more crazy town there
And more in NILs, if people don't know, most NILs are funded by private industry.
by the private.
They're not
Yes.
funded. They're not funded by the schools. The school only has a certain amount of budget they can give out. All those other deals are coming from somewhere else, either
So
from a
this
boosters
story just
company.
got more complicated just by doing this
That's
little bit of research.
Oh yeah, because
well,
it's a
no,
pay
it's
to
not.
play too, under the
Yeah.
table. But yeah.
Yeah.
Bottom line, I mean, if you look at it that way, absolutely. So again, Mississippi State and Ole Miss were trying to get around it by saying, no, we don't want them to be NIL deals that they receive are non-taxable, so they can keep more money. We can attract better players and we can become more competitive. They say no, and I think that's the right thing to do because everybody else has to do it.
Man.
Oh,
You know
yeah.
what's crazy? It's wilder being a college player on a big NIL deal than being an NFL player because you have to jump through so many different. Your revenue stream is coming from so many different places, and you're getting taxed so many different ways, which people don't understand. So it's really, really, really congested when you hear
Yeah,
guys say, "Oh,
side
he
note.
signed for 3 million." Yeah, go ahead, Heather.
No, I was gonna say side note with the NFL, Washington, the state of Washington just did a millionaire tax. I mean, it doesn't kick in till beginning of 2028, but if you make over $1 million, you're taxed almost 10%, so 9.9, whatever it is. So the Seattle Seahawks are not too stoked about that because that was always sort of like Mississippi was making the case. There's always a draw to be like, well, you don't have state income tax, and it's like, yes, but we do have a millionaire tax, so.
Yeah. So
So this
it's coming.
Anyway, back
this
to
answers
NIL.
my question though. Again, this just muddies the water a little bit more because I was thinking that maybe if there was some exemption for NIL, then maybe again some of the players like Dante would take some of that money and be like more comfortable with helping. Like Gretchen is saying, Oregon has a high homeless issue, and this topic is just so complex and so layered and so wrapped up in red tape, and there's lack of awareness. We're having a conversation and we're seeing how many layers that it is. How are we gonna fix this? We're not gonna Monday morning quarterback this,
No.
but I think
No.
there still needs to be someone that addresses this situation.
Let's be fair.
Yeah,
So Dante Moore is worth 3 million NIL, right? He's going to get
Yeah.
3 million NIL.
yeah,
Let's say they take half. That's 1.5 million out of all of his taxes he gets from that. And I'm being very generous or gracious, whatever. Let's say he's getting taxed at 50%, 1.5. That doesn't hinder him from putting $10,000 up for everybody to match to address this issue.
okay, come on.
He'll have more than enough money to do that. You know, like remember we're talking about. We're not talking these taxes. Yeah, they affect. If we were making that money, common folk, if it's attacking my 50,000, 60,000, 70,000 a year, I'm making whole different ball game.
Yeah.
Remember, we're dealing with guys that are making millions and millions of dollars. And now at even the college level, so the taxes are complicated and it's mixed up. But they already know what their bottom line is going to be, right? The bottom line is, at the end of the day, I'm going to receive this much after everything is removed, and I can forecast that out over 3 or 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I'm supposed to get 3. I'm supposed to get 4 million. My 4 years being here, at the end of the day, I'm gonna get 2 million. That's not chump change. You can do a lot. You can do a lot and help a lot of people with $2 million, and not even $2 million. You could just take 10% of that money, which is $200,000, and do a lot. And that $200,000 is a write off for him, guaranteed. So
All I know is
It's
I
a way
don't
around
need.
it. It's just it can be simple. It can be simplified.
I don't need all 6 lotto numbers, y'all. All I need is 4. And what is that? $30,000? That's all I need, and I'm straight. Right? I don't need the headache because the money don't buy you having these. I just the ends are meeting, but they be meeting a little bit more. If I can get 4 of them, okay. Let me stop. Let me lock in.
Let me just say, maybe Dante Moore gives anonymously to some charities,
He
and we
might,
don't
and
know.
he might.
And a lot of
Yep,
people do.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And
But I
I
get what
hope
you're
he
saying.
does.
To get the ball rolling, to get other people to chip in, it is also good
Yes.
to do something publicly. I get it.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm gonna be even more controversial now. I'm gonna throw in a whole nother loop here. So someone, I won't mention them by name. We're just gonna mention them by number. But hold on. See, Marvin's saying the right accountant can write that. See, Marvin, don't do that, brother. Don't get everybody in trouble. It is tax time. We're trying to be right with our money by April 15th. Don't do that, brother. But appreciate you for chiming in. All right. So just had a summit in DC with my guy Saban was in the building. A lot of big folks were in there. Who was our guy from?
Condoleezza Rice, our best friend from Super Bowl breakfast.
There we go. That's what I was thinking. So Condoleezza Rice was in the building. Our boy Urban Meyer was in there. Hopefully he was staying out of the bars. But inside jokes
Fox
for everybody
Sports
knows
was
what's
there.
going on.
ESPN was there.
So the deal is, folks, and again, this is right in line with this conversation. 47 had a meeting with a lot of sports athletes, dignitaries, executives. Keynote that there were no college athletes that showed up. That was mentioned in the story. But they're trying to address and meet the conversation around NIL, around transgenders in athletics, things of that. Trying to fix all of these challenges that are happening with athletics. That room of folks could be where a lot of this kicks off and hopefully gets at least, maybe not remedied, maybe not Monday morning quarterback, kind of like I was saying, but at least gets the ball rolling. Dante Moore starts it from one end. Mississippi is having the conversation. Arkansas is just chock full of crazy. We know how bad we are here in California. We just are. It's just very convoluted here in California. But by having these right people in this room at this time, having this conversation, do you see hope for addressing college sports issues, as this headline says off of ESPN?
Heather,
I know it's a big question. I know Montel over there.
I got it, but I'm going to take it.
I thought this roundtable meeting was fantastic. I watched a bunch of it. I loved Marco Rubio's talk on it's pure chaos out there, and we need to have some guardrails, and we need to fix it quick, make it even across the board. One rule applies for everyone, so Mississippi's not doing their own thing, or Arkansas, or whatever, but that it's one rule for everyone. I love Nick Saban coming in there talking about the players and getting back to education. We've lost sight of what it means to go to college and learn and get an education while you're there and prepare students for later in life. I loved that. I love that their hustle on it. I love there's so much going on in the world right now, and yet they're prioritizing. All these guys have so much going on in their own world, and yet they made the time to meet, sit down, and figure this out, because it is devastating to universities on so many levels, and it trickles down to cutting funding from other sports, women's sports. It falls back on if you're gonna sort of have the universities have to pay out so much money, maybe 20.5 million in revenue or whatever they were saying, then it's going to raise ticket prices, concession stands, you're going to cut staff, you're going to have a whole bunch of issues. So I love the promptness of this meeting. I love that they were like, we have some of the best minds in here. They had agents in there, and they were like, how can we figure this out? And I thought overall, I think they're going to get something done quickly, and they need to.
I'll let you go first, because I want to obviously add.
Sure you want to go?
Well, hold on. Let me sit up straight, because everybody buckle in. It's about to throw the likes and everything right now, because it's about to get in right now. What's up with you, King Benjamin? We see you. Go ahead.
I believe great in theory. That roundtable was great in theory, but let's be perfectly honest. The NCAA in football alone last year made $2.7 billion. The way it is correctly right now. 2.7 billion. They're not going to change. Why? Why would I? I don't need to. Good. The chaos causes us. The chaos is maybe as disorganized as it seems, and the way it goes. And I hate it personally. I hate the way it is now. But the bottom line is the bottom line. $2.7 billion. They NCAA Division One is sharing $2.7 billion, an all-time high in money, and it's only going to get more. The national game was sold out with the minimum tickets was $10,000, and you had to buy 4 just to get the $10,000 price.
We were looking. We almost had. We was thinking about going, and then we looked and saw that, and we was like, "Oh no, we're not."
Parking alone was $1,000 at the stadium.
It was, yeah,
and it was sold out. So is as good as they want to put and tell them all this is going, the machine is still rolling, and it's rolling at an all-time high financially. Why would I change it?
I think that's when the regulations would come in.
Yeah.
But I think, why would I regulate it? Baseball. We've been arguing about baseball. Go ahead.
No, I would say on state or federal levels, they would have to regulate the NCAA. They would have to regulate the business side to be like, you can't do this anymore, because sort of like a monopoly. Like, hey, you can't do this anymore.
Okay, I'll give you an example. Hey, Heather, you're running your yoga class. We want to bring these people in here, and we're going to pay you double of everybody else paying you, but we wanted this hour. Regardless of you want to regulate it, you can be like, well, hell yeah, I'm going to have to just maneuver everybody else so I can make sure I make this money. I think NCAA.
Yeah, but if you're.
Go ahead. Go. Yeah. No.
But if you're going to crush the colleges, like say just NCAA works out, but you're going to crush the colleges to where tuition fees are going up because they're going to add an extra $350 to help subsidize the football programs. And you're going to cut swimming and hockey, where we just watched women's hockey national team because college is a feeding ground for Olympic athletes. If you're going to watch all these programs get cut, you're going to see universities probably swivel pretty fast because they make a lot of money too. The NCAA does make billions, but
yeah. I agree. But I'll tell you this thing: how long ago you were alive when Blockbuster was around, right?
Hey, Bend, Oregon, kind of near my Jock, still has a Blockbuster.
So you were around with Blockbuster and video and all these video places to rent things, and then VHS tapes with the CDs down with the digital. You're gonna have to conform. You have to conform with the times. They're not. They don't care if some schools are going to lose athletes or lose programs as long as the beast keeps feeding the beast. Because I can tell you right now, Alabama's not having a problem with funding all sports and everything, or funding the NIL, and neither is probably half of the big time NCAA teams that they probably are pushing to be in the bowl games. Everyone else is going to have to circumvent and figure out another way. I have an idea how they should do it, but the way it's currently stated is right now, NCAA has no plan in changing it. They're not going to change it.
Yeah, but they're going to have to change a lot of things all at once. So it's not just one variable. They're going to have to change the portal. They're going to have to change how you can jump around between teams. They're going to have to do a bunch of stuff really quickly all at once.
You guys tell me why. Why do I have to change it?
See, I think.
No. Before you answer my question. Why do we have to change it? Why do we have to change it?
My answer is in this part right here, because I am not going to speak for anyone else. I'm not going to speak for UHC, but I think I'm coming at it from a whole different perspective. Montel, you coming from the business side, and the business side makes sense, right? You call it the machine, you call it the monster. It's running, and everyone is fat, dumb, and happy right now. However, again, when we start talking about these college athletes, you know me, man. I go in for the sob story and for the story and everything. There should be more attention paid to the athlete to the student part of the athlete, and there should be more attention paid to other aspects besides just the game and besides just the money piece. That's me being glass half full and being rose-colored glasses. But I understand the business piece and I understand where you're coming from. So that's my answer to your question.
But I'm saying even before when this all even happened, it was like that. It was the same way. I wasn't paid to be they're not paid to be students. They're paid to be athletes. They're there on campus to be athletes. And you can watch the Ben Simmons documentary at LSU. He never went to class one time. Never. He's just there to play basketball. And I'm sure he's not the only one on other campuses. They're the same way. That part hasn't changed. Some athletes are just there to play that sport to get themselves out to the next level. And I agree with you. There should be an emphasis on more student, but guess what? They're not going to argue when this one player is bringing in 300,000 fans. his jersey selling out everywhere he goes, and he's selling out every house where he goes and he's playing college football. He's drawing so much money to the university. I don't care if he goes to class. They don't. I don't care if he goes to class.
That's the HC. That's the brutal truth, right? Again, I kind of don't want to hear it, but you know what? It's the brutal truth. But
No.
we can't do better than that though. I'll pose that.
You
to
can
you,
hold him
HC,
to
let
a,
you
you
go.
can try to hold him to a higher standard than that.
The student,
But I'm gonna tell you right now. Let's talk about we're gonna talk about Oregon. You mean to tell me Oregon, them
Oregon?
high power teams Oregon had, all those athletes they had that were going to the NFL? What's the dude that just got drafted by the Giants? I forgot his name. A couple of years ago, the DN
Is it this?
that was drafted by the no, a few years ago, he drafted by the Giants. Anyway, the top players on Oregon, trust me, all of them are not just there to be. All of them are great students. I don't believe every last one of them are great students, but they are there to play football. People are there to watch them play football. No one is there to watch them go take a math class. So the university would turn a blind eye because they are drawing millions. Guess what? Science Club is not drawing in millions. Science Club is maybe not drawing any money at all. But I guarantee that Oregon team, whether you got an A, B, C, D, or F, they're gonna figure out a way to get you through the program and make you go because that's what people want to see. That's the bottom line.
AC,
They're
can we
drawing
get
in
better?
too much money.
AC, can't we be better? Have we gotten to this point? And I want to say, have we stooped to this point? But have we just gotten to this point?
I mean, of course, there's always the argument of, hey, we want to show the world that we also have high academic achievement on our sports team. So they'll put someone on the bench that has a 4.2 because they have honors classes. So they juke the stats for the average. We all know that. Okay. So, but I still think it's such a detriment to the schools that it's going to really crush the universities as a whole. And it's going to crush other sports, probably female sports. And they're going to have to start cutting staff. They're going to raise prices to, like you were just talking about, the championship game was astronomical. But if you keep doing that across the board, you're going to ruin the sports. And I just don't know that university, states, the federal level, I don't know that they'll allow that because, but you know, again, what was mentioned at the roundtable was that sports, specifically college sports, I mean, it's something that unifies us. Like here we are on a Wednesday night talking about sports and stuff. But it's one thing that we can all get around and unify amongst. And so if you remove that or you crush our Olympic feeding pool, I don't think it's good for our nation in general, which is why I think it's on the federal level for someone to step in. But you're not wrong in saying money, business, nobody cares. Of course, we see that all the time. But I just wonder how bad it'll get if it'll be allowed to crush all other programs. I don't know.
I think the only people that can change it is fans. If you stop supporting it, stop watching it, stop doing it.
Okay,
stop
come
going
on,
to the games,
let's go down that path.
that could be a change, but I don't see it. I mean, $10,000 a seat, and matter of fact, they had a waiting list. You couldn't even get in; it was sold out before you could even do anything. How are we going to stop that kind of machine at the collegiate level? Like the championship is selling out that way, and it's been selling out that way for the past couple of years. Not as much, remember, because it was in Georgia. It didn't cost as much, but this year being in Miami, for some reason, the prices went through the roof with the playoff system. And now they're talking about expanding the playoff system, but even more to make it even more of a draw, more of a demand. People want to see their schools go there. Alumni want to see there. How's Mark Cuban said, I'm going to pay Mendoza whatever he makes in the NFL, I'll match his salary to come back to Indiana. College sports and college football in its own right has become an independent juggernaut when it comes to finances. And I listen to a bunch of coaches. They're saying it sucks for recruiting, it sucks for development, it sucks for high school. But at the end of the day, it's making more money than it's ever made in his lifetime. They open Pandora's box, and they're eating off of it right now. And with NIL,
and you can't go back.
With fan base,
you
can't go back. So I think them coming together saying in theory, hey, we need to do these things and do all these things, I think it's great in theory. But until you can figure out a way to either supplement that money or somehow curve that money around to kind of mesh it where it makes sense, that $2.7 billion is going to be hard to beat in any platform. It's going to be hard to beat to say, I'm going to change it.
You have to commit to transparency. You have to commit to everybody being on the same playing field. You have to, there's a lot of stuff you'd have to commit to. And just, I think one of the guys there, I can't think of his name, but I think he said 2 years. Let's just give it 2 years and see what happens. Like, but
But if they were committed to that, why do we have a Power Four unless it's Division One? It shouldn't be a Power Four. Why are all the exclusive schools all in just 4 divisions, and then everybody else is left to kind of figure it out? That so they don't care. In my mindset, they don't care about equality or having transparency. I want to be the biggest dog on the block, and I want to sustain that. Nick Saban did it for years. I'm the biggest dog on the block. No one's gonna beat me. Where I coach at is the epitome of college football. And the fact of the matter that he says he didn't pay players, he did. They all paid players. The whole SEC been playing players under the table for years, and it's been documented and known. So how are you gonna say now all of a sudden I don't want to give them I think the part where they lose it is one is transparent. We can see how much money they're making, and now for the first time in college sports, players have more control than the coaches. I can leave if I don't like you.
Yeah,
I can leave when I don't want to.
That's crazy right there. Just that whole mental. Let me do this before we go down, because I want to make sure we address some of these comments that are coming in. Marvin was saying, do you really want the feds to step in? Don't know, but we need somebody to step in. I don't know who it should be, but somebody. And again, maybe the folks that are where they're at that round table were the right folks. Shouts out to Condoleezza Rice, man, because she's the truth. And hey, we broke bread with her, so she is a good person to be in that room. My guy Tony Davis is saying, same with professional sports fans. You just stop paying the owners. It's ridiculous to go to a game because Indiana made at least 70 to 100 million last year. We have more power than
everybody, the fans, yes.
Which is interesting, right? So again, stop buying the merch, stop buying the Cokes and the hot dogs, stop even just going to the thing, stop getting the league pass, and see what happens. But are we going to really do that?
No, we're not. We're not. We just don't.
We haven't even hit this whole branch of the tree right here. Tony's saying, we've talked about the Power 5, Power 1, all that. Haven't even talked about HBCUs. Right, we haven't even gone up this.
They're not a part of that kind of conversation. Let's just be real. They're not a part of that conversation.
Which is an unfortunate thing, right? Which is a whole nother conversation. I doubt if anyone from Grambling, I doubt if anyone from any of those schools was in that room.
No, and they won't be in that room. That's and the reason why it doesn't control a big enough of the market share. I mean, at this point, we're talking about those guys are talking about money. That's all it boils down to, money. Power 4 has more money and controls of all the football. When Power 4 wants to divest from the NCAA and say we want to be our own governing body, we're still not going to stop watching it and ain't care less about NCAA. They can do what they want to do because they make the rules anyway as it is right now. They're fine. Fans are the only one that's going to be able to stop this. No one else. Not Mr. President 47, not Nick Saban, the GOAT of college football. They can't stop it. Players have too much control right now, and you can't open it up because if you try to put a frame around it right now, you're going to lose a lot more than you bargained for because they'll strike. They'll threaten just like the WNBA just did. And there's no way you're going to miss out on a season of 2.7 million of college students say we're not going to play if you're not going to pay us what we were getting paid before. They messed up. Now you got it. The framework around it is like, if the fans ain't buying you, if the fans ain't coming to the game, guess what? Star receiver A, we can't pay you 1.5 million. We can't do it no more because they're not even coming to the stands. And if the fans start to say, we want you to demand and make more structure about it, we want you to implement a cap. We want you to do these things. Then you'll get some traction. But until fanatic fans, go ahead, Keller.
You're also going to get you already are having a lot of angry alumni donors who are like, yeah, I'll donate to Montel because, you want to give him a little, money for his NIL, and then you leave the school and then you're gone. And then that money is like, what? That's next for whoever else. I mean, a lot of donors are angry because the money then could have gone to someone else at the school, but you put it into someone, Montel, and then you leave the school. And so then they're like, alum is like, so you actually have a lot of people that are already angry who have money that are like, yeah, I don't want to do this anymore. So you actually might lose a lot of alumni support and donor support.
And I think once they start losing that, I think that's when the prices and the regulations and the rules will start to come down when there's enough of them. But right now, that one donor saying, hey, Montel, I don't like you. Guess what? The school I went to loves me because they just paid me the money as well. So it's a tit for tat. We're talking about individual silos that are unhappy. I think as a whole of college football, If fans start to protest and fans stop not being the one to be a part of it, and fans stop spending money, then I think correction will come. Until then, it's just like the NFL. I supported Colin Kaepernick. I said I wasn't going to watch NFL again. Shit, I was just at the damn breakfast, my last
Right.
month at the 49ers. So the team that abandoned them, I was
Yeah.
there supporting the team
I
that I had a
say,
problem with. So
we hypocrites because literally 2
a
weeks after that
hypocrite,
too,
man. Yeah,
I was back to watching my Steelers. So
I'm a hypocrite. So just to say we can do something about to say that committee can come in and put some framework around it.
yeah.
I'm sorry. Everyone in that room ain't trumping $2.7 billion collectively. They're not. So with that being said, this is where it's gonna stay until we can figure an amicable and a cohesive way to make it happen. We're not changing. And if I'm if I'm head of NCAA, I wouldn't change. Shit, I can care less. Keep doing what you're doing
This
because
brother
all
using
this money
big
keeps
words.
raking on in.
Oh,
Whether I like it or not, whether I like the way it operates, the way I don't like kids transferring in and out. Guess what? You asked for it. I gave it to you. This is what you got, and this is what we're getting in return for it.
ooh, can we start calling them players and not students? Stop giving them a student degree. Just make it a player degree. They professional athletes now.
Hey, they're not paid to be students. They're paid to be athletes. They don't pay to go. They're not getting paid to go to class. They're getting paid to be on the field.
I did not think
that's the
this.
reality.
I did not think that this topic would. Let me check my blood pressure because this is
Nah,
great.
man. I mean,
The conversation is
we've been
great.
talking
Now,
about this forever, though.
yeah, we've been talking about this forever. So here's the thing: we've been talking about this forever. Now some things are happening, and something's coming to fruition. We don't know what it is. We don't know how good it's going to be. But yeah, we've been talking about this for a number of years. Just the fact that someone needs to get in a room and have a conversation. Hopefully, some of this stuff gets worked out. We know the world spins because of the green. We know that, and it's going to be hard to slow that race, that horse down, right? So, but something has to be done on all levels and all aspects. I bring up that meeting as well because I know we've talked about before. Different leagues for different types of athletes. So, the transgender athletes, things of that nature. I know that was part of that discussion, and that needs to be dealt with appropriately, respectfully, in all kind of aspects. I want to hear some more conversation about that. I want to hear more conversations about equity from a pay perspective. We're going to get into that WNBA conversation here right now as well. But man, at least folks aren't just sitting on their hands. We're going to move on to the next topic, but just the fact that at least folks are finally having a conversation. It's going to get heated. And listen, we just here amongst ourselves and amongst the community having a conversation, and I'm gonna get blown up here later tonight with comments and questions as well. But either one, y'all was good and y'all had a good conversation, or I'm gonna get some dislikes in the in the comments for folks.
I'm sure they will like it.
You know what I'm saying? Let me see. Let me do this one right here. So money is just made up. The world spins without it. There are like 3 trans athletes. No, there's a couple of more, but appreciate you. Nothing comment. But that's definitely glad you're here. Let's move on to what I alluded to just now. Unless y'all still want to keep going, because y'all was going.
No, we good. We move.
Ooh, yeah. Give me another drink or something here. Again, I'm just drinking coffee now. Okay. Appreciate you, Tony, man. Thank you, brother, for being here as well. Come on over to YouTube, man. You're over on Facebook. Listen, the only reason, Tony, I stream on Facebook is because of my mom. She hadn't figured out YouTube yet. So just come on over here.
Aww.
You know what I'm saying? to where we get the numbers for. So, okay. WNBA finally did something to where these ladies are getting their just dessert. There needs to be more. I even want more. And it's only hot off the plate, right? I mean, it's only been agreed upon as of today. The starting salary has gone from $60,000 to, I believe, something like almost $300,000.
Mm-hmm.
The league has finally met them where they are from a compensation perspective. The collective bargaining agreement seems to be a success. I don't know if the commissioner, if she's still going to be around, because that got heated as well. But listen, we've had this conversation already talking about this piece right here. WNBA is the WNBA because of this individual right now. Yeah, she's the draw. So HC, me and Montel know more WNBA players' names than we do college athletes, even NBA players' names. Why? Because
No,
with,
no,
with,
not
wow.
NBA, not
Yeah,
NBA.
well,
Don't put me in that category. I know more NBA. I know more college. I know more female NBA players, WNBA players, than I know men's college
all
basketball.
right, there we
Well, I
okay.
used
Put
to
it
follow
there.
that
Make
strong. I
it
used to
plain.
follow
There,
that strong,
there
but
you
I
go.
don't.
Correct my statement.
Yeah.
But
I
again,
don't.
it's because of these. It's the Angel Reeses, it is the Caitlin Clarks, it is the Asia Wilsons, it is those folks who for a long time have been bringing a really good product to fans, and they were not getting paid for it. The fact that today they are now getting pretty decent compensation, I think they still should be getting more, but to go from again, what was it, $60,000
60 to 300. 60 to 300 is
to
huge.
300? The way that this checking and the savings is set up, they're gonna be doing okay. There's an inside joke there too, if y'all know. AC, your thoughts on this? Your thoughts on this new CBA being, as it's saying right here in CBS, a massive step forward for women's sports, and how do you think this would impact other sports as well, not just the WNBA but other female sports having this conversation?
Yeah, this sort of excitement around the viewership. So they're at, from what I recently read, maybe correct me if I'm wrong, but they're averaging like for a regular season game is like 1.3 million, and the men's NBA was averaging 1.53, almost 1.6. So they closed that gap a lot. It was nowhere.
HC come through.
Yeah, it was like nowhere. It was like nowhere near that for the WNBA, which is probably why they weren't making what they're making. But if they're going to close the gap and they're going to bring in some serious respectable numbers, then they need to get a respectable paycheck. So it just reminded me this hype of like the 1999 that women's FIFA World Cup soccer team,
Yes.
where they were amazing and everybody remembers, Brandy Chastain and Mia Hamm, and it brought in this influx of like, hey, we can get behind this. We can get behind women in sports. And then that ended up being a catalyst for other young girls like Christian Press and Morgan. Why am I drawing a blank on her name? Anyway, the forward, who then were inspired and grew up and now are on the women's team. So you inspire a lot of young girls. The WNBA teams right now are inspiring a lot of young girls. And it reminds me of that hype from that 99 Rose Bowl winning team. And it's nice to see. Oh yeah, they're up at 1.4. Oh, that's the money. Anyway, yeah. So it reminds me of the hype. I love what they're bringing. I love Caitlin Clark's attitude and everything. It's fun to watch her. It makes me kind of sad. I start thinking about what Gigi Bryant's, what she could have been, Kobe Bryant's daughter. I feel like she could have been a powerhouse that could have brought in a lot of people, and it's just January. It just makes me think of like people like that that could have had a massive impact too, but that's okay. But here we are, and we're onto a good stream. It's exciting to see.
Definitely. So as we keep going down this, I want to bring this up. Reggie on the rocks. What's going on with you? Appreciate you, man. He says, help me understand Just Desserts. Where does the WNBA money come from? Honest question. How do they establish a reasonable salary regardless of talent, effort, and where does that money come from?
So
Yes.
Well, so go ahead.
No, you got it. Go. I'm listening to you. I'm enjoying it.
He just chimed in.
I thought the WNBA. I thought like more than half of it was subsidized by the NBA, and then also the coaches from the WNBA probably owned about 64%, and then donors. And then I thought from that they sort of divide up the revenue. But now that since they're bringing in big numbers and they're going to be on at like Sunday night, then they should start seeing a lot more money kickback revenue from the networks if NBC or CBS is running ESPN.
You set something up just now perfectly. And Martella, I want you right now to say, regardless of anything else that you were going to say, HC just set it up. Your thought if you ran the league right now of how it should be set up, because that kind of answers some of these other questions that are coming up right here. And the fact that even what Gretchen is saying about her granddaughter is going to watch a WNBA game instead of going to a concert. And Reggie's asking about the money. Where did they get the money from? You and I have had this conversation before. Let's bring HC up to snuff on what you've always.
Oh yeah, so I've always thought the format for the WNBA. I thought first of all, every NBA team should have a WNBA team, and I always thought the WNBA team should be the preset before the men's NBA. They should play somewhere throughout the season where they play half the games. That way, one, they can piggyback off each other for marketing, right? You have the females team playing before, and then the men's team, just like high school, JV and varsity. But now you have these two things, so now you have fans that are intertwined. You have TV revenue would double because you can show doubleheader games. Fans would be able to enjoy more. You know, the women's game starts at 5:30, men's game starts at 7:30. You kind of have this trickle effect, and then you have this big onslaught of everybody buying into that's the league. You know, WNBA. You know, you're gonna play the Atlanta Hawks and the Atlanta Pigeons, whatever their name is. You know what I'm saying? Whatever when they're playing, when they come into play and they travel together and they kind of do these things and they get to share the spotlight. You know, share the spotlight of the top players, and I think it would be easier for the way the TV revenue is set up. But since the explosion of the WNBA right now and the way they're doing it currently right now, I hope they I like them to keep it. The only thing that I don't like about it, I think baseball takes a lot away from it. The fanfare or enjoying it. Right, basketball season is basketball season. Let's see, because in high school and college they're all at the same time. The only time it's split is when they get to the NBA and the WNBA. Right, it's split. They play at different time. Guys play from the fall all the way through kind of spring, and then they kick off in spring right afterwards. Which I wish they would kind of be together so we can enjoy both. Because if I'm watching the Lakers, I'm like, oh, well, I'm gonna watch the Sparks too. Like they're both there. Hell yeah, I'm gonna watch the Spark. Who's the star on it? I'm gonna be able to collectively and kind of bring it all together. That's just why I thought it should be ran. Now, go ahead, James.
No, I'm glad you at least got that name right, because you call what do you call the Atlanta? Call them,
I said Atlanta Hawks and the Pigeons. I don't even know Atlanta Hawks.
Again, we're gonna get emails tonight because
I don't mean to be disrespectful. I was just
apologize.
giving an example. I was giving an example.
Okay.
But I think the WNBA. I mean, my thought on the whole story. I think it's long. It's been years overdue. Before Caitlin Clark was coming, I used to talked about James with WNBA before even Caitlin Clark came into the scene, and they were putting on a really good product then. The fact that she was able to kind of put them over the bubble with her status from college and transitioning over to the pros has been great. I think this is a smart move by the WNBA before these other leagues start to kind of merge and get some, because that other league that they were just playing in was great, getting some traction.
Unrivaled.
Unrivaled was getting a lot of traction, and they were making some pretty good money in Rival. They had the WNBA either going to step up or they were going to lose a big part market share. So I'm glad they were to step up to kind of maybe not kill that league, but definitely put a damper on that league where these athletes will be exclusive WNBA athletes. They can't go play in the Big Three. They can't go they have to be exclusive WNBA athletes, and they're getting paid just due. And I think more so than the salaries, it's the profit sharing, like you said, or the revenue share they'll get off the TV rights. That's even bigger money than them making their salary. So just due from them, great business. Whoever's the player rep for the WNBA, they deserve all the greatness, because for them to be able to pull us together.
So quick question. Is this the first year, this year or last year, has the WNBA, was this the first time that they've turned a profit? Because I know for years past they've been in the hole. Are they actually?
That's what they say. I don't think that's right. I think they obviously they weren't making as much money, but you can't say you weren't turning a profit because you're investing in and you're increasing the league. You're actually expanding. No one's gonna, if you're losing that much money, you're not gonna expand the league. You know what I mean? They're expanding, I think, with 4 teams in the next 2 years. So that doesn't make sense to me. You're not gonna expand if you're losing money for all those years. So for me, I think they were saying I don't think they met their expectation numbers. So that they check that as a loss. Hey, I think we're gonna make $10 million and we only made 8. But we only spent 4. So we still made a profit. We just we didn't hit our numbers that we were supposed to make. That's my opinion only. I don't know. I don't know the books. They'll never show us the books, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think they were losing money the whole time.
I got a little bit
Yeah.
of the books, but not the real deal. But they, through 2024, 2025, they have approached profitability with no specifics. So they haven't actually completely gotten into the black, but they have quote unquote approached profitability. And again, it's to be with the rising stars, with all of the attention and what possibly kind of what Marvin is saying. What if that WNBA team is even more is better than the NBA team? What if your Pigeons is better than? I can't do that.
Guess what? Then everybody will come to the the WNBA game, and they'll leave when the guys come out. It's just like JV and varsity.
Wouldn't that be something?
I think, man, I think if they piggyback at each other and they really, I mean, this is just my opinion only. Please, everybody, you don't have to pay attention to it. But if they just piggyback at each other and each team had a team, I think it would be great because you can cross market the whole thing all the way around. You can cross market the athletes. You can cross market different rivalries. Guess what? The rivalry between I believe Indiana and Chicago because of Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. That would be a bigger game probably than Indiana Pacers playing against the Chicago Bulls, right?
Wow.
It would be.
Wow.
But guess what? You're a fan. You paid to watch. You get to watch both. You get to enjoy both. You can bring your son and your daughter. Your son and your daughter can both come to the game and enjoy both basketball games while they're there.
I wonder how the players. Yeah, I wonder how the players would feel about dividing up that revenue. So you already have a lot of cattiness on the team against Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. And if you have men on the men's team being like, well, we're the ones bringing the seats. You guys are just like pre-show popcorn, like kind of like cheerleader entertainment. Then they're going to be like, I'm not splitting revenue with you.
I don't think that's part of splitting revenue because you got to think. If they set the bar all the way it is, I believe the box is what's going to come in. You're paying for 2 games. We're enjoying both of them. If you're going to pay for one game, it's going to cost a certain price. I think it would up women's equity, and men's, you got to play at a higher standard to show that you're better than up that equity. I don't know if there'll be cattiness, and you might be right. I don't know. It might be. It could be that way. Maybe the locker room wouldn't be. But I think the immediate benefits, everybody's going to get paid a lot of money. Because everybody's coming to watch the game for both, and plus, I don't think they would get paid the same thing because you got to remember a women's season is only I think 30 games, men's are 84. So if you picked up the last 30 games for them and all that stuff, okay, then you could justify you don't play as many games as them, so you're not bringing much money, right? Because of the number of games they play. So I think that can be worked out. That's just business and figuring it out. But I do believe they could cross market and make a hell of a lot of money. Doing it that way. But I mean, they're doing good now. Who am I? Maybe I don't know anything because right now they just got paid. So don't listen to me. You know, they got super paid. Shoot.
So HC. So here's the caveat. The reason why I wanted him to bring that up. His vision for a merger between the WNBA and the NBA. Your thoughts on something like that? Do you may have kind of already alluded to it because you asked a question, would there be a question about the money? But I'm happy that they're getting 300,000, but I still want them to get more. Even though, again, the ink is not even dry, it just happened today. I think there still needs to be continued conversations about the profit sharing, the revenue sharing. Give me some money from the door. Pay me for all the people walking around with my jersey on, and those kind of things. Caitlin's got her own basketball, right? Even Bron don't have his own ball. That kind of thing.
The payment of equity is like sort of what you're talking about between men and women's sports. My whole take on it is sort of like, so ESPN stands for Entertainment, Sports, and Broadcasting Network. And so it's sports are in the entertainment business. So entertainment, the revenue that's brought in on your entertainment value. Normally, for years past, more people wanted to see men's basketball. They wanted to see them dunk on each other, dunk on 6'7" guys. It was insane. Women weren't doing that. They weren't as entertaining. So my thought was, why would you get paid the same amount as a guy that's bringing more value, more viewership, more seat ticket sales, more jersey sales? Why would you get paid the same? You're not offering the same. Like if you're going to go see Beyonce sing versus, I don't want to diss anyone. Okay, but you're going to pay more to go see that entertainment. So, and that makes sense.
Make it plain. It's all right.
I'm being so nice. I know, shoot. But now, again, now that the numbers are coming out and the women are closing that gap between I mean, they're super close. Then you can start talking about, well, hey, the viewership is there. The ticket sales, Caitlin's teams or Angel Reese, they're selling out stadiums. Okay, then you can start having that conversation for sure because they're bringing in the viewership of entertainment, which is where the money comes from, but in seats, you know?
What's the next
But
sport? What's the next sport? Because Trinity Rodman just got a nice contract for women's soccer, but I still don't know if that's really a $1 million contract. Again, what Trinity Rodman brings to the game of professional women's soccer, women's professional, whatever, I think the numbers still are a little skewed. So I wonder.
So I have to say again.
Come on,
Yeah,
because
I'm
I wonder. I just wonder if this hopefully sparks conversation from other stuff.
I mean, I love soccer. I grew up playing soccer. I played 4 years varsity. I had soccer scholarship offers. I turned them all down. I played in the Olympic development program. I love soccer. Watched all my life. I went. However, I do not actively go and support the Los Angeles Angels, but I have been to a bunch of LAFC games. I enjoy watching both, but the level at which the men are playing is a little bit different. And I don't think we can say that it's not when you have under 15, the U15 boys beating America's national team, beating Australia's national team or Switzerland's team. And not just like a little bit, like 6-1, like 7-2. Like you're having young boys beat girls. So I don't think it's not that we're not watching the same sport because women are playing sport. I'm not trying to be too hard, but I just think the value of entertainment that professional men's soccer brings is way higher skill set and ability than the women are bringing. And I don't think that means they aren't worth watching. They are worth watching, but should they get paid and get the same endorsement deals? No, unless they're entertaining. Brandi Chastain rips off her shirt. You got a Nike ad. Boom. You have, what was that like? You remember that foosball ad with like, what was his name? Garrett Martin? The forward for Timberwolves. And they were playing foosball with Brandi Chastain. Do you guys remember that commercial? Now I'm aging myself from 99, 2000. And they're like playing foosball and they let her score and she's just like, yeah, standing there. And he's looking at her and is like, what's with the shirt? Because he wanted her to take off the shirt for the Nike ad. Such a good ad, right? But that brought in revenue for a bit. Right, it moved the needle for a bit because they were kind of fun to watch. Overall, I think the talent level is just different.
I'm gonna need you to post that ad. Find it, post it on your Instagram.
I'm gonna find it.
I think for your question though, the next boom, and I think she's right. The entertainment value has to be there. I think women's volleyball is gonna be the next thing to take off.
Wow.
I think the skill level of women's volleyball is very, very high, especially we see at the Olympic level and at the collegiate level. Definitely, women's volleyball is something special. If you especially watch like Nebraska and all them, I think that's going to be the next professional sport to kind of take off. A lot of girls are getting into volleyball that have already been in volleyball. It's starting to really get a little bit of bubble and it's specialized. Women's volleyball is very, very specialized in the way they play and very different than the way the men play. Very completely different than the way the men play.
Yeah.
And I think it has a very, very entertaining value, and it's starting to gain a lot of momentum being popular. I think that'd be the next sport to boom, but I think it's going to be a slow trickle. You know, we're not yet done with the NBA. We haven't seen what the WNBA is going to go. We're just scratching the surface right now of how big this is going to be because
we're getting greedy. I'm getting greedy, right? Again, like I said, it hasn't even dried yet, and I'm trying to already get them some more coin.
I think they got some stars that are going to be coming out of college soon that are going to even enhance the league even more. When they expand the league, it's going to be even that much better. That on top of the regular NBA is going to expand, so there's going to be a lot of excitement around basketball. I think once we figure where that cap is at or where that peak is at for them, then we'll start poking for the next sport. But women's sports, it's very hard for them to break into the professional realm to make money. The visibility to make money. It's just so hard for them to break in there in that realm. But if there's one, I think it's going to be volleyball. Softball's not going to do it, I don't think, at all. They've been trying so many different ways to make it regular baseball and all that stuff. It's just very hard for women's that type of sport for women to be able to make sure it breaks real out like WNBA. And I don't really know too many other sports that can do it. Basketball is going to do. I think volleyball, soccer is going to be hard. and it's really popular when the Olympics come around, but then it dies down. It's not a really popular sport in America, except for when you're youth, right? Girls play a lot of youth soccer, boys play a lot of youth, and then as they get older, it really starts to they spread out the wings to do other sports. Not like you play football when you're young, you pretty much gonna play football all the way through college. If
Mhm.
I mean, through all the way up. Baseball when you're young, softball you play it all the way up. Soccer is the one sport where they they divvy away from it to be really exciting. So that's gonna be a tough one, bro. I think, but I
Okay.
think volleyball has something.
Well, look, we sparking the conversation, and
Yeah.
I already got folks hit me on
Take
the
that
DM
receipt,
like,
man.
hey,
Keep
oh
that
yeah,
receipt because
we-
they keep the receipts. Keep the receipts.
keep the receipts. I love it. What y'all got? Because that's all I had. And again, I want to be cognizant of time. I smell something back here cooking, so Lord, I know that's slightly unprofessional, but it may be time to go eat before I go hit the gym. Just letting y'all know that. HC, what you
Yeah,
got?
I might have to say goodnight to my minions.
Yes, definitely. That's most important. That's most important. We did what we had to do. We got proper internet coming from your side, which is dope. So this is what we look like, folks. This is the squad. So shouts out to the fresh new team, no sleep.
Yeah.
What's today? Every Wednesday night.
Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday, man. Come on.
He's
right.
hungry. He's hungry.
I got to focus. I got to stay locked in. Wednesday night, 6:30 p.m. This is what we talk about: the social impact of sport. Join us, talk about us, spread the word, spread the news. If you think we are getting too deep in some conversations, too bad, because that's what we do. We rise above the noise and we get very deep because nobody else is. We have those hard conversations. HC, if you don't have nothing else, Montel, go ahead and take us home.
Yeah. So everybody, please, pray for our people in the military overseas as we're going through these issues and this crisis in this situation. Wish everybody come back safe, and for those that haven't, our prayers are with you and your families. I know it's tough. Everyone, please check up on everyone in your family. Make sure they're all okay and are all right. Especially here on the West Coast, we're going through this heat wave. Got older folks in your family. Check up on them. Make sure they're good because you never know what's going to happen. And then again, man, please get comfortable having the comfortable conversations because that's how we learn.
That's cool. You know what? I pause real quick because you know what? That's where I take I do the marker right there for the end of the show. But I want to bring up these last few comments that are coming in. Look at Marvin. Oh, see, Art Outlet shouts out to you for keeping us in your prayer. Jesus died on the cross for our sins, and whosoever believeth shall not perish but have everlasting. We about to open up the doors of the church.
Yeah, church after
and bring ye tithes and offerings to. Okay, let me stop right there. Gretchen's talking about crew. Listen, I know folks that have done crew, and that's brutal. Shouts out to them folks right there that are doing those things. Tall boy over there, he on the other side of the planet. So we got HC, we got folks joining us. I don't know where he is. He in Thailand. He in I don't know, Madagascar, Wakanda. I don't know where he is. Wakanda, right? So shouts out to you for being here.
Bring that vibranium right back.
But yeah, bring some of that back. But Marvin says, there it is right there. Great upgrade with HC in the building. So that's again what I've been hearing quite a lot of. So appreciate you for chiming in. Appreciate everybody being here. We will be here. The doors of the church are not closed. See, now he gonna call me in like 10 minutes and try to figure out who in the world you are trying to get that IG account. That's all good, man. Appreciate y'all. We out, y'all.
Yeah. Team no sleep, we up all night. Montel and James keep the convo tight. Sports and culture where they collide. Tune in, lock in, let's take that ride. To Mike, to King, no snooze allowed. From the court to the block, we speak it loud. Social impact where the game align. Crossovers and causes intertwined. We the voice from the streets to arenas. Breaking down plays from LeBron to Serena. Whistle blow and the world reacts. Sports and the struggle, the cold hard facts. Team no sleep, we talking real deep. Hip hop sports, no counting sheet. Know the field to the booth, we tell the truth. Team no sleep, we bring